It's a Pittsburgh Sports Live and Pittsburgh Hockey Now postgame report from PPG Paints Arena. Hi, I'm Dan Kingerski. And another mixed bag for the Penguins today. We've learned almost that inconsistency is the consistency of the Penguins. The middle lines, if we talk about three takeaways, the middle lines continue to be an issue for the Penguins. The line with Phil Kessel on the left wing, Evgeny Malkin in the center, and Nick Bjugstad on the right side had their lunch eaten for most of the game. Let's call it the first 50 minutes. And in fact, at 5-on-5, they were still a giant negative for the Penguins. The first couple periods were especially bad for that line. Phil Kessel seemed a bit lost on the left wing. A couple wraparounds around the boards where a left wing should be didn't connect, which allowed Calgary to sustain offensive pressure. It wasn't until the third period when Evgeny Malkin really turned up the volume that that line began to generate some offense, but it was a little bit too little too late as the Penguins had trailed 5-2 after two periods. Also, we saw the third line with its first big test centered by Jared McCann with Teddy Bluger on that left wing and Patrick Hornquist on the right side. They were outchanced through the game 2-8. That's not exactly what you want, so they didn't do very well in their first test. You saw their skills, and sometimes perhaps their skills can overshadow the actual results. Bluger and McCann especially fast. They like to pressure in the offensive zone on the forecheck. They get after it, but they didn't generate a whole lot against Calgary. That continues to be a problem as the Penguins search for some consistency, search for a way to set their lines and leave things alone. Patrick Hornquist certainly was testy today in the game, and even in the locker room afterwards. Hornquist was feisty. Let's put it that way. They didn't. That line didn't generate enough, and they didn't put enough offensive pressure to let you say that is the third line. Especially with the second line struggles, it looks like Mike Sullivan. Whether he shows patience or whether he juggles the lines again for tomorrow against the Rangers will be an interesting decision. I'm sure the coach is getting as tired of the line juggling as a lot of the fans are. And the third takeaway that we can take from Saturday's loss to the Calgary Flames was that Justin Schultz is going to have a huge impact on the Penguins. We wrote about it on Pittsburgh Hockey Now, and you saw some of those things just a minute 45 into the game. Schultz first shift, the crowd essentially gave him a rousing ovation, didn't quite give the standing O, but he stepped high into the slot and let one rip. Mike Smith made a very good blocker save. Otherwise, that was ticketed for the top corner. Schultz several times stepped into the offensive zone to apply pressure, knowing that Jack Johnson was dropping back and had him covered. You're going to see Schultz get better. You're going to see Schultz get stronger, and a few of those shots are going to go in. The Penguins have to like that.
Yeah, they capitalized on theirs. That was the game. I thought we scored at the end there. We tied. So can't hang your heads. We got to get back at it tomorrow. Pretty good as I can feel. I worked pretty hard to get ready, but you can't ever prepare for games. But I thought I felt pretty good, and excited to get back again tomorrow.
You were involved in the win goal by Jake there. Just what you see on the board in the sequence.
Just a great play by Nick to get it up to me, and I knew that power play was expiring. Jake did a great job just taking his eyes away and putting his stick out and just laid it in there for him. He did the rest of the work.
Last time you played, this was a very different roster. How different does this all feel compared to the last game you played?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys I haven't played a game with here, so it's a little different, but we got one under the belt now, so I'll get more comfortable, and that's good.
You almost got to go on your first shift when you come right on the ice, and Malcolm sets you up with a good look there.
Yeah, it's pretty nice to get a chance on my first shift, not be in our own end. He made a great pass, and it's too bad I couldn't put it in.
It seems like as a group had a lot of sort of tips and leaders a lot of their goals went in off of your guys. Is that bad luck, or is that something you guys can work on?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, I think. It's always a little bad luck when it goes off your own player, but I thought we had a pretty good game. We were in the right spots a lot of the time, and just wasn't our night or afternoon today.
They did pressure Calgary. I mean, what you had was essentially was a bit of a black hole in the middle, with the ends, as per usual, the Crosby line and the Cullen line actually applying some pressure. Quick note, Zach Aston-Reese was an animal on Saturday. The forecheck and the back check creating turnovers set his line mates up for a few glorious scoring chances. That a lot to like on that line. But as the Penguins play that low game, as they hang on to pucks, as they push the puck low and pressure the opposing defenses, that's going to open up the low to high game. That's going to allow the Penguins offensive defenseman, Chris Letang, Justin Schultz, a bit more space and time to let rip from the top. And now that the Penguins have a second defenseman capable of letting rip, I think you're going to see a few more of those and a few more chances, a bit more ugliness. That's a good thing. From PPG Paints Arena, I'm Dan Kingerski on Pittsburgh Hockey Now.